Hi, my name is Erin, and I live on an island north of Seattle, and I'm just looking for the last bit of light in the day in the woods. It's just a gorgeous area. And I'm wearing my summer puzzle shawl by Sophia of Sophia Tales, um, in all types of greens, just like the forest. And I feel like the times we're in now are upside down times. That's the way I've thought about them societally. And for me, knitting is a lifeline, has been all my life since my grandmother taught me at age 6. And she survived escaping Germany in World War II to be able to teach me to knit. So that's sort of the backdrop of my understanding. And I just have found that knitting is both therapeutic and a way for me to just continually learn about some new thing. And also, I hope to develop more community around it for myself. I am currently participating in Martina's Wild Allies group that is fabulous with women from around the world. And Martina has a vlog or podcast called We Grow Wild. So if you're interested in that type of thing, I would highly recommend checking it out. And we just, a bunch of us have this vision, dream of living in community and being able to knit for community, and grow our own food and that kind of thing, like a co-housing type situation. But yeah, I just hope to share with you the things I'm working on. I'll talk a bit about, possibly even share some of the poetry I've written over the years. So if that sounds like anything you're interested in, just follow along and I'll gradually learn more how to edit videos and incorporate a lot of my past nature video or images, which I'll try to figure out how to insert and compile. And then, I just have a lot of unfinished projects that I can share. And then most of my finished projects I give away. So I just have on photos in my website, which is waterwomanknits.org. And you can follow me there. So yeah, thanks. Hello. I am going to just start by showing you some of the knits that I have currently in progress. And since I no longer have a lot of the knits that I have made, this is one that I kept. That is the Sheep Camp Sweater by Jennifer Berg, Navajo knitter. And I changed the sleeves to reflect the fact that I ran out of this chestnut brown, warm brown color and yarn, and so I just had extra white. So I just made the sleeves a patchwork of that, but they're supposed to be one color. I think it looks okay, but I do absolutely love this collar design. And let's see, another thing, I've shown these several times on my website and other places, but I absolutely love this mitt designer named Erica Heuser that you can find on Ravelry, and these are the Make-A-Wish mitts. I think they're called Make-A-Wish. unless I'm just getting that confused with the cancer organization. But they're just, she has many designs with different animals and plants, and they're just a good way to use up small amounts of wool. I found that Jameson, the Shetland jumper weight wool, is actually perfect for these because it's so grippy. And then I have, this is one of these projects that I think many people can relate to, having on the needles for about 2 years. I started a few years back. I started doing a cast on at every New Year's Eve as a potential tradition, but then I ended up with a cascade of unfinished sweaters. So this is one of them, and it's just on such fine needles and fine yarn that it's just taking me forever. But I absolutely love this design. It's the Azor sweater. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. Azor, by Orlan Souche or Souche. And this I made in Le Petit Lambswool, that Biche et Bouche. So I am on part of the way on one sleeve, and this, just to show you how thin this wool is and how time consuming. I think this much of the sleeve took me like 5 days. It's so, yeah. So just to explain to non-knitters why it's really hard to commodify knitting, you would really need to charge, if you were charging for labor of this craft, you would have to really charge, I don't know, thousands for a completed garment. I love working on shawls, knitting shawls, and have given away almost everything that I've made. And my goal is to design more this year. I have designed 3 hats, and I'm really excited that a yarn store owner in Port Townsend, which is a ferry ride from the island that I live on, has shown an interest in creating some kits for I only have 3 published hat designs. And so I will be meeting with her in about a week. That's really exciting to talk about yarn choices and ways that she can work with me on future designs as well. So here's one of my designs, and I call it the fir tree, FIR. And yeah, it's just, I would love to teach potentially a class at her store as well. And so this would be a good introduction maybe to color work, although I want to design something that's easier for beginning knitters, that's just not color work. My sister this Christmas gave me these from a independent maker, as we all are, these earrings that really, I don't know if you can see them from here, but they're actually like knit stitches. And so I just love that. They're made out of wood. This project is something that is such a great use of scraps or yarns you have left over from other things. And this pattern is called Hello from My Colors. I think that's how it's phrased. Hello from My Colors, from Jessie Made Designs. And it's definitely in progress, and I kind of modified some of the color work, but
it looks all bunched up because the yarns are of different, slightly different types, and um, so that it's hard to do even color work in multiple different types of yarn. But once I wash it, I think it'll be pretty awesome. And then obviously once I get the sleeves added on. And then I have this big cable blanket that I am working on for my dad to keep him warm. And it's kind of been folded up, so it's a bit bendy. But I searched and searched for a cable pattern that I really wanted to make, and I finally found on Etsy this woman. I think her business name is Lily Lake Designs, and she, what I understand, she kind of intuitively wrote a cable pattern. It's kind of hard to explain, but just it's not very charted. It's not charted actually. It's handwritten, written out, the instructions. And so I it's been it took me a minute, is what I'm saying, to figure out the pattern. But then once I did, it's just very, since it repeats, all the motifs repeat so much, it's very becomes memorizable and fairly easy to do. And I think it's about, I don't know how many feet that is, but I want to make it double this length at least for a lap blanket. And actually, this wool is from Barrett Wool Company, which I love. But I had originally got this wool to make a cardigan for myself, a cabled cardigan, and I got the back done and then realized it was so enormous. Even though I did a swatch, it ended up being so enormous. I don't know what happened, how I could have been that off, but it basically would have been like two sizes of a normal body by the time I washed it. And so I decided to repurpose the wool from this. And since my father was actually born in Wisconsin, where this wool comes from, I immediately thought of him. So those are some of the, I could dig around more to find other ones, but those are some of the pieces that I am working on, that I've had in bags, waiting around to be worked on. And the rest of my finished work, not all of it, but much of it is in photos on my website, waterwomanknits.org. And the next exciting thing I have coming up is a test knit for the German publication Making Stories, which, if you're not familiar with them, their mission is to, I should really have read the mission statement before I say this, but it's all around sustainable business practices and sustainable yarns and wool fibers. And I love, they do a publication that is both on, digital and print. And each year there's a series of designers that will be included in that magazine. So I'm working on, I think it's number 14's magazine, which is not, it won't be out yet for a while. And so I won't show the piece, but it's the only time in my life that I have swatched for making a shawl. Most shawls, you don't need to worry about what size. You can just you can even use double the size wool. Um, you can increase your needle size however big you want it. So this is going to be interesting. It's the first time that I've done that. I thought I would read a poem that I've written poems over maybe 30 years of my, I'm in my 50s, so at least half of my life over time. And sometimes they used to come to me easily, now not so much. But I did sign up for a thing called the Stafford Challenge after the poet William Stafford, who used to set himself a goal of writing a poem every day. And this online Stafford Challenge has guest poet speakers throughout the year, and you just commit to writing a poem every day, although nobody's policing it. And honestly, I signed up last year, wrote one day, did not, so that's 1 out of 365 days. And so this year I'm signing up again, starts this week. And I'm looking forward to just having that reminder. I'm not very strict about it. It's just a good reminder in my brain to just say, like, oh, just write down 3 words on a piece of paper and it can be a poem. And then maybe over the year, there might be some gems in there. Huh? Who knows? There might not be either. But these are some of my poems that I wrote around the time of the last inauguration of a certain person. So I thought there was one that is called, let's see, I think I called it Survival. And this just came to me after a vision of imagining all the people in the world who are doing creative and life affirming activities in the face of a tremendous amount of fear and anxiety in the world, and etc. I won't go into it. And I'm not making this vlog like just as a word of reassurance that I'm not making this a political vlog, and I won't go on rants. But I just thought, since we are facing in 2 days a new presidential inauguration, I would just read this poem from the last one. And it's titled Survival. Find any key to the sacred door. One spreads paste of poppy seed, diced date, slivered almond into pillows of cardamom dough. One mouths verses of dormant languages, birthing shut-away pages to light. One baptizes fecund hand crevices, mulches past and present, turning forth seed. One saturates canvas in goldenrod, sapphire, lichen, and clay. One feels histories in hand-dyed loops, sheep and alpaca, nubbins and plush, lanolin comfort molds to the touch. One dances emotions in motions, twirls, leaps, and bends. One listens with patient presence of trees to celebrations of salmonberry, ocean spray, huckleberry, salal. One sings stardust melodies in chorus, strings, horns, and drums. One burdens us daily with fear everywhere. Welcome your sacred and breathe the good air. So thanks for listening, and I will have future inspirations, I suppose. I intend to build a knitting community from this channel, and I'm trying to figure out right now what the best balance for me is, since my actual work life involves typing full time. Like I literally type for 8 hours a day. So combining that with my greatest passion of knitting it's quite a balance to not injure myself. And so that is the main thing that scares me about trying to commodify my love of knitting. So for now, I'll just put these out here and maybe eventually have some tutorials and possibly, I have a few of these at least connections with other groups right now between Making Stories and the Yarn Store, local, sort of local to me, that might turn into good collaborations for the future, especially if I can get my act together and design more. So, publish designs. So, thanks for watching.